So we're going to go over some stretches that are kind of nice to do like after a bike or a run or just any time. I'm just going to show them to you. I'm not going to hold the stretches, so that way you can be in the stretch for as long as you want. But we're going to target quads, glutes, outer glutes, hamstrings, our inner thigh, and then like the chest and the back. So kind of some nice areas after some activity. So let's come on to like our side. So one way that we can target our quad is if we lie on our side and this bottom leg, bring that heel back and catch the heel or the foot in the hand. So my top arm, my right arm, is grabbing my left leg. And you can just kind of pull the foot with the leg. I'll show you from the other side. So the bottom leg goes back, top arm back, and just kind of hold the foot in the hand. And if that's not accessible, make sure you do both sides. So if that works for you, do the left leg with the right hand. Hold that for, say, at least 20 to 30 seconds. So do the bottom, the left leg, and then you're gonna either roll over or just kind of spin around. Do the right leg with the left arm. Tank's here. So do that, kind of pull that leg back. The glute and the heel might touch, might not. So that's one stretch for the quad. That doesn't really feel right, or if you can't access that, get a bolster or some pillows. You can bring it somewhere on the floor beside you. Then bring one knee out and bring the ankle maybe in line with the knee. And then the other knee kind of near that heel and the ankle back. Then you can kind of lean back onto a pillow or a bolster. That's really going to get kind of that outer part of the quad, same as the middle of the quad. And you can lean it back, and this can be as like restorative as you want. You might eventually be able to just remove the pillow, which you don't have to, but you can. So do that with both sides. So you would swing it over, be there for say as long as you want, 20, 30 seconds at least, and then flip it over to the other side. So then that's going to target the other leg. Another one that's nice for the quad. So you can pause this as you go. So pause, hang out in the stretch, and then do the next one. So you can come into your low lunge. And in your low lunge, you have blocks or something. Get in there for support. Kick that foot up. This is similar to what we did lying down. But kick the foot into the hand. And that's going to really open up that quad. Bye, Tank. So do that on one leg. And then do it on the other. So I'm stepping down and move forward. Again, pause as long as you want. Move, Tank. And then grab the other foot. And that's going to get the front of that quad. So while Tank was in the way, I flipped the other leg. And you're going to find it with the hand. So that's the front of the leg, the top of the leg, those quads. Pause and hang out as long as you need, as long as you want. Now, our outer glutes and kind of the outer hip, a nice stretch for that. You can bring one foot in front, then another in front of that shin, and you can lean forward. And then kind of walk your hands. I start to feel it when I walk my hands to the other side on this right glute. So that's a nice outer glute stretch and glute stretch. So then make sure, so with my right shin in front, my arms are to the left. Bring that left shin in front. Lean it forward. You might feel it in a different spot, and then walk the hands over. Feel through it on your own. See what feels right for you. And pause and hang out here for a little bit. Another one I really like for our outer glute stretch is our figure four. So you can either do it seated, lying down, or against the wall. So seated is like this. So my left foot's down. I'm going to rock back, bring my right ankle just below that knee. And then walk my hands forward so that chest is towards that shin. And then, woo, I really feel it. And in the back of the leg, even the outer glute. So this is an option. Make sure you lean back. And whatever you need to do between sides, shimmy it out, stretch, relax. And then do the other side. This is our seated. Pick your 4. So be there as long as you need. If seated doesn't work for you, come down to your back and do that same shape on the back. And that's where you can bring those hands behind the hamstring or that shin. Let the gravity pull them into the chest. Again, whatever you need in between sides. So pause this and be there as long as you need, but then switch sides. You definitely want to stay there longer than I am. I'm just showing you some options. So there's that. One that I really love, I feel it a lot in the seated figure 4, but you can do it on the wall too. So scoot as close as you want to the wall, lie back, and then it's the same thing as when we're seated, but the wall is the floor. And then one leg is there, and then you can walk that foot up or down. When you walk it down, you might feel it more on that left outer hip. So that's one leg. Stay here as long as you need. Rock to one side. Bring the opposite leg to the wall. Leg to the top of the leg, or ankle to the top of the leg. And just kind of hang out. So that's your figure 4 against the wall. Again, that's hamstring, or that's outer glutes and the side of the leg. Now for, say, a hamstring, one thing that's nice is to come into a forward fold. So when we sit down, feet can be out, and flex the feet, and just kind of lean forward. Maybe you find your feet with the hands, give a strap. You can bring the strap across the foot. But thinking of the target area is the hamstrings. So whatever's going to help you feel it there. One way is if you roll a blanket. So I'm just going to roll this blanket that I've got on my mat and roll it up behind to come underneath the knees. And with that underneath the knees, you might notice in the hamstrings a little more than you did without the blanket roll under the knees. So this is our hamstrings, our back of the leg. Now you might want to sit on this blanket roll, legs forward and lean forward, and you might notice the back. Back's a really nice target area too, so you can stay there for the back. You might still feel it in the hamstrings with that blanket roll when you sit on it. So whatever you're targeting, hamstrings or low back. Now another hamstring stretch, that's right here. You can bring one foot into the thigh, the other leg is out, and then you're going to fold over that outstretched leg. So you can flex the foot towards the face, turn the heart towards the foot, and lean forward. You might feel it in the calf a little bit. Back of the leg. I'm going to bring the leg in, do the other side. Again, pause and hang out as long as you want. And then here's our other side. Another nice one is our Ardha Hanumanasana. So we can come to one knee, bring one leg out in front, and we can hang over that leg. And if you want, in this, you can be with that foot out, and then kind of bend the knee a little bit, come back out, bring the toe to one side, fold over it, come back to the middle, bring the toe, big toe in, fold over it. Do that for as many times as you want. So it's middle, outer, middle, inner. And then we'll do that with the other leg. And again, like I said, whatever you need to do in between stretches too. There's no rush. This is nice to do. Like maybe turn on a nice radio station or show and do this while you Maybe unwind a little bit after your workout. So we got the legs straight. Pinky edge. Pause. Middle. Pause the video. Inner. Pause the video. Or you can just stay with the legs straight. If you want to stand, I'm usually tired. My legs are usually tired after a ride or a run, so I don't want to stand. But if you want to stand, you can kind of have a flat back and bring that leg forward and just let the arms hang. And you can step. And then step the other leg forward and do the other leg. And walk across the room like that, or you can just kind of come up and switch legs. You can do it standing, or you can do it on the ground. So those are some hamstring. Now I'm going to show you one of my favorites for my inner thigh. So I kind of bring one foot in, and then I swing the other leg out, and then I kind of just lay this way. It's not quite pigeon pose, but when you rotate that hip in, you might feel it on the hip flexors a little and on the inner leg. And I like this again because it's more passive. I'm on the ground. So do this for both sides. So there's one side. You can bring the other leg through to the middle, swing that leg out. You can also come into pigeon if you want to. I just kind of like this one because it feels really nice as well. And I can notice how I kind of twist a little. So I'm kind of twisting my back and opening up my abs too. So that's one advantage of like kind of staying lifted, because I always feel like after a bike ride, it's nice to stretch out the front of the body too. So that's one option for inner leg. And then we've got butterfly. Now with butterfly, it can kind of be your groin area, or it can be your hamstrings, depending on where the feet are. So bring the soles of your feet together. If they're far away, hang out here for however long you want. Just notice where you feel it. I'm not going to tell you where to feel it. Just notice. Bring your feet in. Maybe notice where you feel it. And then pause and stay as long as you want. Okay, so we mentioned the front of the body. It's like the core. Try it and true. Just lay down. Point the feet, stretch the arms out. Don't worry about the low back. We're just going to kind of stretch. And then let's roll over and opening up the chest and kind of the back, that spine. We're going to come into our puppy pose. So walk the hands forward, hips over the knees, and just sink that heart down. It's really nice to open up the chest and those shoulders after being on the bike or even running, because we breathe sometimes up into here and those intercostal muscles get tight. So this is going to stretch those out, stretch the armpits, open up the shoulders. So sink the heart down. There we are. Stay here as long as you want. And then I want to give you the option of coming into a thread the needle. So bring, say, the left hand close, bring the right arm through, come onto that right shoulder, and you'll stretch out the outer shoulder. Bring the head down, forehead to the floor. Be here as long as you want. And then bring that left hand in, bring the right hand forward, left arm goes through, so that left shoulder open. You might notice the space between the shoulder blades as well. That's really nice after a ride. Be as long as you want. And let's come back up. Any of those might stand out. You might find one that you really like for a while, and then you might find one that you really like, a different one that you really like. But just explore for yourself. And then one thing I like to always end with is legs up the wall. It's the best ever. So bring your bum to the wall, bring the legs up to the wall, either maybe a couch or a chair, and just let that blood flow down and just rest as long as you want. All right. Thank you. Enjoy.